I am Kadisha Henry, and we are going to be looking at today incident response process or incident response plan. Some people call it incident response process, some is just incident response, okay? Doesn't matter how we say it, but that's what we are going to be looking at today. So let's go. As usual, in this class, we teach the concept, each concept, and then we look at some scenarios. Then we will look at some multiple choices. Okay, so that's the way we usually run the class. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Okay, I'm having a little trouble with the frame, of the class. So, what is incident response process or incident response plan? So, incident response is a structural approach for identifying, managing, and mitigating cybersecurity incidents, okay, such as a data breach, malware infection, unauthorized access. It ensures really that it ensures minimal damage, right? Quick recovery, and it improves the security posture. So in other words, we're saying we put structures in place, and as cybersecurity personnel, you will have to put structures in place, right? That if there should be an event, if there should be a breach, if there should be a malware infection of the entire system, what are you going to do? What do you have in place should any of these things happen? So, cyber incident plan is a plan that we have in place, just in case these things happens, right? So that's it. It's a plan. It's just like persons have insurance plans, and the insurance plan is to ensure that if the house burned down, there is um, money that you will get back to bill, right? So with incident response plans, organization need to have a incident response process. How are you going to mitigate? How are you going to manage? If there is an attack, what are you really going to do if there is an attack on the infrastructure? If there is a breach on Facebook, what is it that you're going to do? Should there be a Facebook breach? Should there be let's say a ransomware on the data center or any of their machine? What are the plans that you have in process should any of these things happen? So incident response plan is a structural approach for identifying, managing, mitigating cybersecurity incidents such as data breach, malware infections, unauthorized access. What it does, it ensures that minimal damage is done. So there is a quick reactive plan that we have in place to recover everything, to recover any damage. So if one system is damaged, then there got to be a plan how we're going to recover. What are we going to do? Right? What it does, it improve the security posture, right? So that's very important, very, very important, because as cybersecurity personnel, you are going to maybe sometime responsible, are going to be on the team of those who are creating the cybersecurity incident process or plan for that organization. And you have to know what it is that you're going to involve in the preparation process. And we're going to, because there are 6 phases or 6 stages to this plan that we're going to look at, that as as cybersecurity professionals, you must be knowledgeable of those plans and also what are involved in different phases or stages of those plans. Okay? Let's continue. Do you understand that concept? So now we're going to look at why is incident response needed? Why do we need this? Why do we push for this to happen? What's the purpose? Why are we pushing for cyber incident response? What it does, cyber incident response, which is IR, you will see that sometimes it's critical for organization to effectively manage and mitigate security incidents. We kind of briefly talk about this before they escalate in a major breach, right? Without a structure for incident response, without there's any structure for incident response, business faces increased risk of data loss, of financial damage, reputational harm, and you have regulatory penalties, because some places will tell you that there has to be some plan in place, and if it is found out that you breached, that you didn't follow the regulation, then you have to pay penalty, right? So we're going to look at some essential incident response plan, or key reason for doing it, right? Some key reason. So again, it is needed because it effectively manage, it mitigates cybersecurity incidents before it escalates. Because there got to be a plan. If you find out there's a breach, what you're going to do immediately before that breach escalates, right? Before it reach further than you really wanted to, and then you ended up have to pay for that. So let's keep it moving. So we're going to look at it. So some of the essential, the reason we need the incident response plan, it minimizes downtime and business disruption. All right, so let's take for an example, you are working at Facebook or Twitter or TikTok in one of these big tech places, and there is a breach in the system, there is an infection, there is some um, ransomware, something happens, right? So if you have an incident response plan in place to prevent that from escalate, what it's going to do, it prevent the downtime, because if there's a breach, it means then the entire Facebook world, TikTok world is going to be disrupted. And so what you're going to have is that nobody can log into TikTok, nobody can log into Facebook, no one can log into these spaces. So it creates a massive downtime. But if if there is a plan in place, if there is a plan in place, then what you can do is prevent it from escalating, right? That's what you can do if you have a plan in place. So it minimizes the downtime and business disruption, means that there's no long time. I don't know how many of you have gone on a system where there's a disruption and there's this long downtime. You can't log on to the system. It's located this is not available, giving you error code and all of those things because something happened, and because there's no plan to recover the system and to make it operable, it creates a long downtime, right? So cyber incidents such as ransomware attack, DDoS attack, this, and I'm sure you know what DDoS attack is, or data breaches can disrupt business operation, and what that can do is can lead to downtime and loss of productivity. Because if you don't have any means, if there's a DDoS attack, right? If there's a DDoS attack or if there's a ransomware attack and you didn't have anything in place, let's look at WannaCry, that huge cyber attack that took place. It brought down the entire system, and it took them a while to get the systems back up and running, because I could imagine there wasn't anything that was really in place should that happen. So we always said make sure there are plans, incident response plans for all of these things should they happen, should they take place. They should there should be things in place, okay, to deal with it, to deal with the incident response plan, right? So a well-prepared incident response plan will ensure rapid containment and mitigation of the attack. So if you have a good incident response plan, in that plan that you are planning, it's going to tell you what are we going to do should this system get corrupted, should there be a ransomware, should there be a DDoS attack. What are we going to do to ensure that the system continue to run? Are we contain it fast enough so there is absolutely no downtime? What are we going to do? So that's what those are things that when you are doing the incident response plan, that one is going to keep in mind, keep at focus on, right? So rapid containment and mitigation of attack, swift recovering of the system and services, minimize impact on business continuity. And that's why in other lessons we're going to talk about business continuity, right? How do we continue in business even though there is an attack, even though there is a incident happening? So we are saying right here, right now, that the incident response plan, we need it because it minimizes the downtime and disruption, right, of business disruption. And we are saying, should there be a ransomware, should there be a DDoS attack, data breach can be disrupted. A data breach can disrupt your business operation, and it can lead to loss of productivity, financial loss. It can, but if you have a well-defined incident response plan, then you can contain the incident, you can mitigate the attack, you can recover your system and services quickly, and we're saying you can minimize the impact that it will have on business continuity. So what I'm saying, it will minimize it, and that's the aim. Because if I have a business and there's an attack on my business, I gotta make sure that I have some plans in place, so when the attack happens, that I have plans in place, so when an attack happens, I can recover, right? I can recover fast from that. And everybody wants to know that when there are attacks on their business, that they are recovering, they have plans to recover, right? So we minimize our downtime as much as possible, as fast as we can. So it'll take 2-3 days. The customers cannot go on the bank app. 4 days, they're still trying to log on to Facebook. 10 days, they're still trying to get on a website because there is a cross-site scripting or whatever it may be, and nobody cannot get on because there is no plan as to how you respond to those. They don't have no defined or structural plans, right? And that is not supposed to be. You should always have something in place. So this let's look at let's look at let's look at the next aspect of it. Why do we need an incident response? It reduces financial lost. Why do we need incident response? Why do we need this plan in place? We said first, it minimizes downtime and business disruption. The next one is that it reduces financial loss. Okay, so let's look at it. A security breach can be costly due to fines, legal fees, compensation payouts, and operational downtime. Yeah, it, I look at some data right here from IBM. IBM, right? The cost of data breach, the average cost of a data breach in 2023 was 4.545 million, right? And an effective incident response plan can reduce this. You can resolve it if you have a good incident response plan. It can resolve this issue. In 2023 alone, data breach was 4.4 million in dollars. Because if you weren't following protocol, you're going to pay fines, legal fees. People are going to take you to court for their data that is released out there, right? And if you have other obligations and contracts that you cannot meet because of this data breach, then there is going to be a problem, right? It's going to be an issue, right? So it is very important that we have systems in place that will deal with any likelihood of an occurrence of an incident. And one cannot say, well, there will not be any incident. When you're dealing with data and in the cyberspace, there's always, because once computer is evolving, there's always going to be hackers, malicious individuals, and they're really not going anywhere, right? They're really not going anywhere. So it's important that we have systems in place. Effective incident plan can reduce this incident, right? That will occur. And it can prevent revenue loss due to downtime or ransom payment. If you have a plan of how, if there should be a cyber attack or ransom attack on you, right? Some malicious attackers, I'm telling you, they as ransomware persons, they take a lot of money. They want a whole lot of money for ransomware, and many times when you pay the ransom, it is not a surety that they will release your data. There are times when the attackers demanding a certain amount of money in crypto or bitcoins, I believe, and you give them the money and they still don't release the data, so you lose, right? You lose a lot. So it prevents revenue loss due to downtime or ransom payments. It mitigates costs related to reputational damage and regulatory fines. Reputational damage. Your company is known as one that is always, having some breach. Attackers always getting into your system because you're not doing a regular, maybe sometimes your vulnerability testing to find out if your system is okay. Is it open to attack, to be exploited? So the second one, it reduces your financial loss. That's the reason you really need incident response plan and mitigate costs related to reputational damage and regulatory fine. Because the fine is that many are going to be under regulation, right? That tells you many times how you are to operate in terms of what do you have in place just in case something happens. And if you don't have those in place, you will find yourself getting fines. And then another part of the cost is people taking you to court to the court and you have to pay all of those legal fees. Your legal fees plus you might have to end up paying them money. So look at it as a plan putting in place. This is what we're going to do. Train the employees and what to do, or train the people who are part of the business organization of what to do. More than you have to go through all of these, paying fines, legal fees, reputational damage. It would be easier to actually pay somebody who knows how to create an incident response plan that will be effective for the organization, right? It will be less cost for the business just to hire somebody to do that. Then you find yourself in court and you find yourself in all these places, find that you weren't following regulatory guideline. Now you are in problem. Your business might not only have reputational damage, but you might find out that your business too, you lose it. You lose your license to operate. You lose everything. All because many organizations just refuse to put some incident response plan in place. Or people are just not following, right? So take in consideration that that too is very important, okay? So let's look at another one. Incident response plan, protect sensitive data and customer trust. This is what I'm saying when we talk about when we talk about having a good incident response plan and why do we need them. It protects sensitive data and customer trust. Data breach expose sensitive customer, employee, or other business partners' data. An organization that fails to secure this or fails to secure the information is at risk. They are at risk of losing customer trust and credibility. They are at risk of facing lawsuits and complaints and violation if they are not in line with the GDPR and the HIPAA and the CCPA. Then you may find that you will face lawsuit for violating all of these. Because if somebody finds that you violate the HIPAA rule, then there's a lawsuit. If somebody finds out that because of what? You didn't have any plans in place. All of this comes back to the fact that there's no incident response plans or incident response process to protect the data, to protect the infrastructure, to protect your organization on our own, right? So that is this, we're saying these are the reasons we need incident response plans, right? Compromising intellectual property, trade secret, financial data. This is what we're trying to prevent, and this is why we're saying incident response plan is important. A strong incident response plan helps to secure critical assets and demonstrate commitment to your data and protecting them and being in accordance with compliance. This is why we need incident response plan. This is the reason we need it. It helps to secure your asset. Because the truth, if there is nothing of value, then there is no need for protection. There's no need for all of these protection that we're talking about. But because our assets have value and we have something that needs to protect, then we need incident response plan. Just in case something happen. What does Facebook have to protect? Why they need an incident response plan? What does the light company have that is important just in case something happen? Why would they need an incident response plan? And that incident response plan is what all of the employees and people who work with the organization, that's what they're going to follow just in case there is a problem. You get that? So it protects sensitive data and customer trust. Because if customer feels that they cannot trust you because they use your website and somebody intercept, or there's a problem with your website, it's ended up that the customer data, credit card data, and all of those information was stolen because you have a system in place that is not protected and you don't have an incident response plan, right? It's not secure. You don't have anything in place. So the customer loses trust in your business. If Bank of America is always known for breaches, who is going to trust them? That customers' data are all over the place. Who is going to trust them? Nobody. So they lose your sensitive data, your social security, all your information of where you are at. And so customer don't trust that place anymore. So you will hear customers say, I'm not buying, I'm not doing business with that particular place. Not at all, because our data is always breached. Do you understand that? So let's look at another concept of why. So let's look at this one. So the other reason we need incident response plan is to ensure regulatory compliance. So many industry requires organizations to have a formal incident response process to comply with data protection laws and cybersecurity regulations, right? So many industries, they require organizations to have a formal incident response process. If this happens, then what? How are we going to handle it? How are we going to mitigate it? How are we going to get back up? Right? So many organizations require that um, you many industries have a response process, right, that will protect the customer data, and also it's up to have an incident response process to comply with data protection laws and cybersecurity regulation. So let's look at one. We have the data protection regulation, which is the GDPR, right? It requires organizations to notify authorities within 72 hours of a data breach. What if you don't follow that? You don't have it in your incident response plan. What's going to happen? Fines, right? HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, it mandates healthcare providers to ensure patient data and that it ensure that you provide secure patient data, right, and report any breaches. So that is the HIPAA. It mandates healthcare providers to ensure and to secure patient data and report breaches. The PCI DSS, the payment card, known for the payment card industry data security standard, they require business handling credit cards and data to have an incident response plan, right? Failing to comply with these regulations can result in heavy fines, legal action, and loss of business license. So this is not joke. We need incident response plan because it ensures you are following compliance. It minimizes downtime. It prevents you from financial loss and reputational damage. Right? So if you have that plan, you will follow the guides. So if there is a problem, you know exactly what to do. So you are not saying to these regulatory bodies that we have them in place just to get the license, and then bam, something happened. What you going to do? Because it is there that you said you had them in place. But to find out that later on that you don't have it is another story. Because malicious attackers are always trying to find something to breach. They need money. We have enemies, countries. So we have to protect our data by all means. Let's look at another reason we need it. Why do we need incident response plan? It identifies and it contains cyber security threats quickly. That's one of the reasons we need it. The longer an attack goes undetected, the greater the damage. Right? Cyber criminals often remain inside a network for weeks, for months before any discovery can be made. Let me see um, if I am at the right one. Okay, yeah, I'm at the right one. I just wanted to make sure. So we need incident response plan, because when you have an incident response plan, it outlines in it, right, ways to identify and contain the cyber threat quickly. So in that plan has everything outlined. Because many times what happens, there can be an attack that goes undetected, and the damage get greater. But cyber criminal often remain, and when cyber criminal comes on to your system, many times they are there undetected. You don't even know, right? For months before being discovered. So an effective incident response plans will help you, right? So it will help you to detect and contain the threat early. When you have an incident response plan, it will help you to detect and it will help you to contain the threat early before an attacker escalate their activities, because you have something in place. It can reduce dwell time, the time an attacker spent inside a system undetected. So you have a cybersecurity incident response plan. It will help to detect and reduce dwell time. And the dwell time is the time an attacker spend in the system undetected. So if you have an incident response plan, you are able to deal with all of this, right? It prevents lateral movement. It helps you to identify and prevent lateral movement. This is where the attacker move from one system to another, spreading the attack. Because you have an incident response plan. A proactive incident response strategies ensure that the organization acts swiftly before threats escalate into full-blown crisis. Again, we need an incident response plan. We're talking about the reason. Why do we need it? Why do we say must have an incident response plan? Identify. It helps you to identify and contain threats quickly. Right? So if there is any form of attack, those attackers who are called undetected attackers, they are on the system, but you probably take months to detect that they're on the system. It helps to reduce their dwell time, the time that they're inside the system undetected, right? It helps you because it prevents lateral movement, so they don't move from one system to another, infecting the system or spreading their attacks. And it ensures that you act swiftly as an organization, so the threat don't escalate into crisis. So as cyber personnel, you must understand that when you are building your cyber space or working in any cyberspace, you must understand the reason incident response plan is needed in that organization. If one cannot appreciate why cyber incident is needed, then they may not have one until there is a problem, until you start faced with lawsuit and fines and losing your license. Then you will get to understand why this is important. And you have people who strictly their responsibility is to their their responsibility is to create the response plan, keep up with it, and all of that. You have people in an organization, and you even have people in the cybersecurity space that that's what they do. That's their job. They create the response plan. They're responsible for organizational incident and response. So it's very interesting. You monitor. It's a very interested area in cybersecurity. So let's move on to the next one. Why? We're still at the why do we need incident response plan? It prevents future attacks. Why? A well executed incident response plan or process include lessons and well executed lessons learned and learned phase. That's when you have a well executed plan, right? Which helps your organization to identify weakness in the security defense. So why we need it? It prevents future attacks. So some people may just start or just start their business, or they may not have had an incident security plan in place and something happened and they don't want it to happen again. So this is going to help them in the future to prevent future attacks or prevent any attack for that reason. So what it does, it identify weakness in the security defense. It improves the policies, tools, and employee training, right? It strengthens your cybersecurity posture to prevent future incidents by continuously improving the security measures. Hackers and malicious individuals are ever changing, coming up with new ideas and new tools, new ways to breach, to exploit the system. So there has to be continuous improvement to your cybersecurity incident response plan, right? Tools and all of that. You have to be with the time, always reading. What are the new tools that can help your organization that you'll be working at, or will be advising, or they consulting with you for advice as to different means and way to create their security plan, right? So by you improve the security posture, organization can reduce vulnerabilities and better protect themselves from future cyber attacks. So you learn different vulnerabilities in the system when you're doing incident response plan, right? What are the what are the different vulnerabilities that are there now? And so you are able to identify all of that and is able to improve your incident response plan. So it prevent future attack or attacks. And that is important. It must be well defined to prevent all of that. And so another reason we need incident response plan, protect your reputation and brand image. Cyber incident can damage your organization reputation, leading to loss of customers. All right, customers' confidence in your business is lost. Negative media coverage and public distrust. Competitive advantage in the marketplace, because if you have a damaged reputation, and a damaged brand, nobody's going to come to your company and do business. They're going to think twice because you are always attacked by attackers. You always have data breaches. You always have all of that. And because there is this constant breach and leaking of information, customers don't trust your organization to do business. So we have to make sure that we have this incident response plan and process to protect your reputation and brand image. All cyber incident. I mean, if the incident happened once, yeah, it could get, but you don't have no system in place, and this continue to happen. Nothing in place, and all of this continue to happen. We have to, put something in place so you don't lose your reputation. And the next one that we're going to look at, why do we need incident response plans? It improves your decision making, right? In times of crisis. We need an incident response plan because it helps you in decision making in the time of crisis. So during a cyber attack, an organization need to make quick and informed decision. What up? You don't. You cannot. Something happen. Oh, there's a ransomware happening. All of our computers locked down. What do you do? What is the plan? Oh, there is an infection of the system, then the entire system is infected. What do you do? Where is your plan? Where is the plan that says these are the decisions that would make? Should there be a malware? Should there be a ransomware? Should there be this problem? Should there be a breach? What is the plan that is in place that you will follow that will help you to make quick, informed decision for the well-being of the organization? What is it? So improve decision making in time of crisis, in crisis situation. That is the reason we need the incident response plan. Right? So without a structural plan, there may be confusion about roles and responsibilities, delay in response effort. Why? Nobody knows what to do. Poor communication with employees. Why? There was no plan. Customers and authorities. An incident response plan will provide clear guidance for responding to different types of attack. How do you respond if there's a phishing attack? How do you respond if there's a ransomware attack? How do you wear if there's an infection of being malware infection? How are you going to respond? So the incident response have the different attacks, and how are we going to handle those kind of attacks? So everybody not confused. Nobody know what to do. Nobody knows their roles. Nobody know their responsibility. Nobody know who do you contact just in case there is a problem. Because what is the line of command? Do you tell it to the news station first? Do you shout it out? Let everybody hear about it? There got to be an incident response plan of how you handle all of this. Right? So the incident response plan is going to give you some clear guidelines for responding to different types of attacks. It's going to define the roles for security team, what the security team need to do, executives, legal department, how these connect, right? To make the process easier. Effective communication strategy to handle public relations. If there is an incident, it's likely that the public will have to know. You have to tell it. Who is responsible for all of that? Who is going to do it? We need incident response plan, right? It ensures coordinated and effective response to cyber incident overall. So there's a problem. And everybody, what should I do? What should I do? Customer calling. I am trying to get onto this and I can. I'm trying to log on and I can't log on. Everybody, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, we're having a glitch in the system. 2 hours later, they're still calling. I can't get onto the bank app. I can't get onto this. No, everybody's confused. So manager is not there. Supervisor is not there. Who do you call? What kind of attack it is? I don't know. We just can't log on to the system. Who do you call? I don't know. Because the people who are a part of the incident response team, they are not informed, they are not trained. They just say, okay, there's an incident response team, but who have the knowledge? Who have the level of expertise? What do you do? It's very important. It's very important that you have a clear idea that an incident response is needed and who are the people that is on that team. What are their roles and their responsibility? So if there should happen an incident, there are protocols to follow. So the business can continue, so the incident can be contained and eradicated, and the business continue. That is why we need incident response plan. Incident response plan is not just something that somebody come up with and said, oh, we just need it. There's a reason. So now we're going to look at the key phases of incident response. So there are key phases in an incident response, and we're going to look at those. One of those phases is the preparation phases. Very important. The preparation phase, everybody comes together, everybody doing the preparing of the incident response plan. Who is involved in this phase? The preparation phase involves establishing a robust foundation for handling potential incident. So right here in the incident response plan, we are saying is the phase that we're going to, let me go back, is the phase that we're going to develop or put together what we need as a foundation for the incident response plan. And this may include developing policies and procedure in this phase. Organization must create an incident response plan that outline roles, responsibility, response protocol. So in the preparation phase, guys, it's important because here is what we're going to follow. This is the foundation of the plan. Here we're going to establish how we're going to handle any incidents. So we have a policy. We're going to write the policy at this phase and the procedures. What are our policies to handle situation? What is the procedure that we're going to follow? This is in the preparation phase. Remember that there are 6 phases. We're going to look at them, and one of them is the preparation. Here, the organization create the incident response plan, IRP, right? IRPS. And this must be created in such a way that it outlines the roles and the responsibility and the protocol that the organization must follow. Right here in the preparation. So everybody calls you, come in, we're going to create our incident response plan. What are we going to create right here? Okay, we need to know how we're going to handle should there be a ransomware attack. Okay then, so one person over here going to create the policy, and another group over here is going to create the procedure. So We are going to come back together, but we're creating the policies and the procedures, all protocol. How do the other team members or the organization, how are they going to follow these? What are the steps? These are all protocol that they must follow. Very important. Okay. So let's look at the other part of this, the key phase. We're still looking at preparation. So the other aspect of it is assembling an incident response team, right? So we have our policies and procedures. We're going to assemble the incident response team, assign security professional, IT staff, legal representative, public relationship. All of these are taking place in the preparation phase. In the preparation phase, we are doing our policies and our procedure. We're establishing ways we're going to handle the cyber incidents. We are making sure that we have team members. So here we are assembling the IT, the incident response team. So we're going to assign to that team in the planning phase security professional, IT, legal representative, public relation people, personnel to form, you know, to form the response team. So right here in the preparation phase, we're saying we're doing all of this. Who is going to be on the team? Who's going to be? So we need people from IT. We need people from the cybersecurity team. We need people from the legal team. We need relation people, because all of these are going to be the ones that creating the incident response, a part of the incident response plan, so we know what to do in case of an incident, right? So we're saying implement security tools. We who is going to be responsible for that? Like deploying firewall, intrusion detection system, endpoint detection and response, security information and event management. Are these tools that are going to be a part of the process as we're developing the incident response plan. Here, conducting training and drilling. Who is going to do that? Educating employees and recognizing threats and phishing and malware. All of this in the preparation phase, we have to make sure that they are trained, that they know what to do, who is a part, who is responsible, what are the tools we're going to use, how are they going to be implemented. All of these must take place in the preparation phase, right? We can do, we in this phase, we conduct table exercise to simulate real world cyber incident just in case it happened. So we have a tabletop exercise. We are simulating real world situation. How are you going to handle it? So we have our team right here. And should anything happen with one mini exercise, how would you deal with all of that situation? So conducting training and drilling, very important. Implementing the security tools. Here each department or people who are part of the team will know who is responsible for deploying all of those or implementing them. The firewall, deploying the firewall, deploying the intrusion detection, doing the endpoint detection and response. Who is responsible for all of that? Who is going to do it? This is what we call the preparation phase. Everything is taken into consideration that is going to help should there be a incident. In the preparation phase, we tell you what was the policy, right? So it happened. What's the policy? What's the procedure? Who are we supposed to? You learn, you are trained, you know it, and you know exactly what to do. Because in the preparation phase, all of that is done. So no one in the organization should look confused and don't know what to do and how to go about it. Right? So everyone will know exactly what to do in this phase. Key components of the preparation phase. What are some of the key components in the preparation phase? In this phase of the preparation, incident response plan is developed. We look at it in the other one, right? The incident response plan is developed, right? An incident response plan is a document, really. It's a document that you have, or a documented strategy outlining how an organization will detect, respond, and recover from a cybersecurity incident should it happen. So you have a whole document that tells you how the organization is going to detect, how it's going to respond to, and how it's going to recover should there be a cybersecurity incident, right? It should include incident classification. In the preparation, we're still in the preparation phase. We're looking at the components of the preparation phase, right? So it's going to categorize the incidents based on severity in this stage, whether it's minor, critical, high impact, right? Whatever it is. So in this phase, it tells you how you're going to categorize them. Respond procedures. In this stage, we have procedure, right? What are the step-by-step action for handling various security threats? So if it's a ransomware attack, what are the step-by-step, right, process or action that you're going to take to handle those ransomware? If there is a phishing, if it is a phishing attack, if it is a DDoS attack, what are the step-by-step action of handling those security threats? Because all of it now is in the preparation phase, and not everyone would be aware of what are the steps to handle those. Escalation process. In the preparation phase, it tells you the escalation process. When and how to involve senior managers, legal team, or law enforcement. Right? So in the preparation phase, all of this escalation process, what do you do in all of these incidents happening? Who do you get involved? Who do you call? Do you call the police? Do you call a legal team? Do you call senior manager? What do you do? At what point do you get these people involved? Communication plan is in the preparation phase. In the communication plan, it's a guideline, right, to inform employees and customers and regulatory bodies about the incident. So there is going to be a communication personnel who is going to be a part of the incident response plan, because this person is a person who is going to know how to speak on behalf of the company. Should there be a breach, should there be an incident, this is the person who is charged with the responsibility of communicating this. So you just don't, sometimes the protocol may be you speak to the senior security personnel first, based on the severity. Because remember, you would have learned the severity of and the categorization of the incidents and the security, the type of incident and the severity. And so based on the severity, or based on the category of the attack, you will know exactly who to communicate with first. And then the communication plan will outline what is this person going to say to the public. Because remember, you just can't just get up and say anything, you will go into legal battles. This ain't no joke. You have to know. So this person have to know exactly how to communicate and what to communicate. So these are key components of the preparation phase. So we looked at what is incident response. We look at why do we need incident response plan. And we look at the key components, what are a part of the preparation phase. So the first phase in the incident response plan is the preparation phase, and we look at the key components of the preparation phase. Okay? So if you have any question, you could ask after this short break. Okay?